there's been some interesting developments with Google, who obviously owns YouTube, owns a lot of the platforms we're on here. And look, I think they provide some incredible resources for us. We can reach thousands of people because of them for pretty much no cost. It's amazing. However, there have been some interesting things people start to search. They've been looking for, and look, this happened last time around. This happened during the election last time. The Google users searching for things like attempted assassination of President Trump have seen results fail to populate on the search engine. So when you type in and you see suggestions, so the suggestions started to talk about President Truman or Donald Reagan, thinking that you had problems. This is what's happening here. Now, Google spokesperson has come out and said, look, we didn't do anything. This was not manual. This is pretty much an AI-driven thing that was trying to keep people from searching for political violence, for horrific, events. So prior to the assassination attempt. However, we know this is one of the top trending stories. They need to be able to go in and fix this. And it doesn't quite all smell right, Jordan. We know that this has been an ongoing issue that the ACLJ has even been fighting against with big tech censorship.
No, I mean, are they saying that they don't want people looking up how to assassinate a president or how to assassinate Donald Trump? I mean, that doesn't make any sense, because there was an attempted assassination now a few weeks ago, and you should be able to look up all of the news about that, the hearings about that, the fact that there's been a Secret Service director fired because of that. I guess they voluntarily left their job, but we all know what that means in Washington, D.C. And we're still finding out bizarre information after each day, how much the Secret Service knew about this potential shooter being on site, and then still sending Donald Trump up on stage. This is when you realize, remember, we've seen a lot of emails where big tech is brought into Washington, D.C. and brought into the White House and basically told, we need you to do this. And you have to wonder if this is one of those situations, Logan, because they don't want people focusing on the Trump attempted assassination. They want people focusing on Harris and the fact that Biden is gone.
I mean, here's just to give you an understanding of how quickly Google does update, because they put on there, they made a statement saying, hey, we're working on improvements to ensure our systems are more up to date. Over the weekend, Robert Downey Jr. was announced that he is going to be playing Dr. Doom in the new Marvel cinematic series, the new Avengers movies. That is based on a comic called Impossible Iron Man, which a lot of people have been searching. If you just type in IMP, it fills in Impossible Iron Man, because so many people are searching for it right now. So their systems are up to date. So even if they're saying, hey, maybe it was a protection, we don't want people searching assassination attempts, we know that them saying that we don't keep things up to date is just simply not true, because no one was searching for a comic book from 7 years ago. People weren't searching for until the day before yesterday when this news broke. So we know that that is a bit of fudging the truth, because it's not exactly how we know how real-time Google updates, because they are, Alphabet is one of the most high-tech companies on the planet. So when you see this, you have to at least take a look at if you're being censored. We know nearly 100 minutes before President Trump took the stage in Butler, Pennsylvania, that ended up in that failed assassination attempt, that there were text messages between security saying things like that they noticed a man with long stringy hair sitting on a picnic table near the warehouse at 4:26. A text went out saying that he knows you guys are up there and monitoring, but it seemed like he became a person of interest. Again, 100 minutes or so before this assassination attempt. And I'll go to Jordan and get Cece's thoughts as well. Some of this has to have some consequences here. Obviously, we saw this, the head of the Secret Service step down. Is that good enough? Where do we draw that line?
What I would like to know right away is, they see a kid with a rangefinder. Right then, I mean, it's not like this is a far walk, Logan. We're talking 100 yards. Why did they not approach him? Right then. You say, hey, what are you range finding over here? There's nothing illegal about that technically, but that probably would have been it. That probably would have stopped from the shooting from occurring, because you'd have been scared off. But instead, they know we got a kid with a rangefinder. Then he's putting up a drone, a couple days before. And, the Secret Service is on site more than the day of the event. So none of this makes any sense that all it does is really show that law enforcement was noticing this, but obviously the information either wasn't going to the right person, or it was going to like a phone number or like a some kind of reporting number that isn't monitored correctly. And that's why members of Congress, I think, do have a role. There's the short-term role, which is, how on earth did this happen? Let's make sure this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, I want to make sure everyone know that 5:38 photos were shared in a group chat.
Right. That's disturbing.
That they had taken of the shooter. And then a text said, "Kid learning around building we are in. AGR, I believe it is. I see him with a rangefinder looking towards the stage. FYI, if you want to notify Secret Service snipers to look out, because I lost sight of him." That was at 5:38. By 6:11, he would be killed by one of those snipers. So a good 25, 30 minutes there.
Why they didn't immediately go approach him before Donald Trump took the stage? Well, even at 5:38, or send a message. If Donald Trump had already taken the stage, send a message to him or his Secret Service so they approach him on stage and say that he needs to come off the stage.
A massive communication breakdown.
This did not need to happen with the technology that we have in 2024. So Logan, I mean, we obviously, there does need to be the short term, and there has been. The Secret Service director is out. I told you while we were at the Republican convention, she showed up to try to brief senators, and then they wouldn't answer any questions, and she is no longer the Secret Service director. But there's got to be something done, because I don't really care who becomes the next president of the United States. With the technology we have, if we're going to be the United States of America, we've got to be able to better secure our presidents so that they can still go out to the people and campaign and speak to the American people, because that's a horrible outcome if you have to just basically stop doing that. And what does it say about our country if it's too dangerous to do so because we're so partisan?
Right. CC, this was 25 minutes before he took stage, and one of our producers just puts very routine for the Secret Service to delay someone from taking the stage, especially a presidential candidate, from taking the stage as they assess any threats. Look, we saw President Trump spoke here in Nashville at the Bitcoin conference and was delayed, and they kind of half explained why he was delayed, because they knew he was there. And they said it was because of the attack in Israel, because you're probably then saying, okay, we need to take a step back, reassess. But I want to get your thoughts.
The fact that they had texts going back and forth, and the fact that they literally sent pictures of this young man. I mean, clearly they had identified that he was a threat. And the fact that they did not take action, that they didn't put more people around the building where he was kind of lurking, that they didn't have more people looking for him, that they didn't delay. I mean, that's the most disconcerting thing to me, is that they literally obviously identified him as a threat, and they really didn't do anything.